Hello and welcome back to the Coop. I'm Foul Play. Today we've got another Animal Crossing video for you, as I've come across 6 more hints and tips that I feel like you should know. Some of these you may already know, or maybe I should have known, but I've come across them either through seeing them on Twitter or finding them myself in the game, and I want to pass them on to you guys. These ones will be much shorter than my last video, as these are quite small tips, but they will help you a lot in the long run. Let's get straight into the first one. So for my first tip, I want to talk about eating fruit and getting rid of them. So this is a bit of a side tip firstly. If you don't already know, you can eat fruit to give yourself a temporary superpower to be able to dig up trees and break rocks. For example, if I eat this apple now, you can see that counter top left goes from 1 out of 10 to 2 out of 10. I'm sorry, it's slightly blocked by my overlay. And once you've done that, you can use a shovel to dig up a tree, like so. So then you can replant it somewhere else. So if you want to move the trees around, you can. But that's not the tip that I'm actually trying to make a point of here. Instead, I want to show you how to get rid of that counter. So you can see that I've still got 1 out of 10 of my superpower top left. Maybe you want to get rid of that because maybe you don't want to dig up any more trees and you don't want to accidentally dig one up. I know personally I've accidentally broken some rocks by mistake. Well, you can get rid of it. To do it, it's quite funny. Now, it does involve you having to have a toilet in your home. Toilets can be found in the shop or from islanders, or shake it from a tree, or get it from a floating present, whatever. But once you've got a toilet, you can put it in your house. You can then go up to it and sit on it. And that's right. And that takes care of that. You literally poop out an apple, and then it will flush. Thankfully, you can't see it, and you can't get the apple back. But yes, if you want to get rid of that countertop left, if you've eaten too many fruit, you can get rid of them to avoid you digging up trees. So for my next tip, it is a really quick one. It is just about when you talk to other people in your island. So when you talk to people, you know that you can press A to move on to the next text box. But the text sometimes moves quite slowly and you want to skip past it. Now, a lot of you probably just spam A until they finish talking. If you didn't know, fun little tip, you can press B instead and it speeds up the text so that you get through the conversation quicker. Something you might already know. If you do, fair enough, but for people that don't know that, it will save yourself a lot of time. To prove how much time it saves, I'm going to talk to the dodo bird here, and I'm going to do the same conversation twice, once where I only spam A and once where I spam B. So let's have a look at spamming A. 3, 2, 1, go. Spamming A. I want visitors. Let's go with local play. Actually, never mind. Okay, let's see how much quicker that is when I spam B instead. 3, 2, 1, go. There we go, significantly quicker. The only thing you've got to be careful with spamming B is if you spam B when it gets back to your choices, when you get to a point where you have a choice, B will also automatically take you out of the conversation. So you've got to be careful how much you spam B, but it will save you a lot of time. My next tip is to help all of you collectors out there. So, for most of you will know by now, if you haven't already figured out, that you can get a museum in your town, just like the old games. And you can donate fish and bugs to Blathers in the museum to display them. And for a lot of collectors, you want to be able to put all of your fish and bugs in there. But the hard thing is, in previous games, you couldn't tell whether you've actually what you've donated and what you haven't without speaking to Blathers, going through all of the text just to find out, oh, I've already donated that. You may have already spotted this, but if you haven't, you can now see this from the app on your phone. So load up the app. You can go to the Critterpedia, which you've probably already found anyway to have a little look around. But notice when you click on any bug or animal, you get a little box bottom right that says donated. So for example, I know that I haven't donated there's a couple of things I haven't donated, like a white roach, so it's not down there. Whereas on another pill bug, it says donated. This is exactly the same for the fish. So if you are a collector, so I haven't donated a koi, but I have donated a pale chub, bottom right there. So if you are a collector and you've maybe just done a bit of farming and you don't know whether Blathers needs what you've got or not, you can always check on Critterpedia, so you don't have to keep talking to him every day to do that. My next tip is one that I really should have put in the last video because it's around efficiency, but it's something that I only really started doing after that video, and I just want to make sure I get it in this one. And this is a really good way of making money as well as making your island look very nice, and that is doing a flower farm. I think I briefly mentioned it in the previous video, but I want to show what I've done and talk about how good it's been for me. So you can create a flower farm on your island either by buying seeds, planting them and waiting for them to grow, or by going to a deserted island and digging up all the flowers and then replanting them when you get home. You can see here that I've made a lovely little arrangement where I've written the name of my town, the Coop, in flowers here. Now, what's really good about making flower farms is when you have lots of flowers close together, bugs will come in absolute abundance. I'm not going to wait around for this demonstration, but what I normally do is I can normally catch 2 or 3 bugs here. I can normally run up to my house, run back down, and there'll be at least another 2 or 3 bugs. Sometimes they even respawn whilst I'm catching one in these flowers. Now, I've found that purely by doing that, I can get anywhere from about 8,000 to 20,000 based on what bugs I catch every 5 to 10 minutes maximum. It's been really, really efficient for me. I would highly recommend creating a flower farm, as well as it looks very, very pretty. Just a side note as well when it comes to the flower farm, I just want, as we are currently in springtime, if you are in the northern hemisphere, I would just quickly like to talk about, whilst you are doing flower farming, which bugs to look out for during the day and which bugs to look out for during the night that will get you the most amount of money. You don't want to spend all your time mopping up bugs that are only going to get you 100 bells, because that's not going to be worth your time. I can tell you that during the daytime, you should focus on finding paper kite butterflies, as they'll get you just over 1,000. Orchid mantises are very good. They are the pink ones. They'll get you over 2,000 per time. Wasps from trees are also quite good. Daytime, that's about as best you're going to get. At night time, though, this can be extremely profitable. Now, I mentioned that last clip that I earn anywhere from 8,000 to 20,000 per 5 minutes. I have found that has been most profitable at night, because at night you will find, or in the evening / night, you'll find emperor butterflies, which you'll get over 3,000 for every single one. And these ones here, the man-faced stink bug, you only get 800 per one of the, sorry, 1,000 per one of these. But I sometimes, you know, I mentioned I sometimes go back to my flowers and there's like 3 or 4 bugs. It's always 3 or 4 of these. You get them so quickly. I would recommend during springtime, set up a flower farm and look for those bugs in particular. Keep running around in circles and you're going to make a lot of money quickly. The next tip is again about speed. So again, this is something you may already know. If you don't know, it's going to really help speed up. When you craft something in the menu, so I'm just going to craft something randomly now. Once you've clicked what you want to craft, you then wait around whilst your character does a mishmash of hits and items get thrown around, and there you go, you've got your item. But did you know that when you craft, if you spam A, literally just spam the A key as hard as you can when you're crafting, it goes a lot quicker. Watch this. It speeds up the process, and it does it much quicker. Again, it's a very small tip, but it's something that will save you a lot of time when you're trying to craft a lot of items at the same time. And then my last tip for this video is actually on crafting, and this is also another great way of making money. Once you've got your Nook's Cranny open, which most people have after the first couple of days, you can see on this board outside what your hot item is. A hot item is something that Timmy and Tommy are buying today for double price. Now, this hot item is normally it's always something that you can craft, and it's normally something relatively cheap. For example, for me today, it's a wooden table mirror, which from memory, I believe it's 3 regular wood and 1 iron. Let's have a quick look. Now, as for my last video, I mentioned that you should be doing a farming route. In that farming route, you should be hitting a lot of your trees. If you spend 20 to 30 minutes each day hitting every single one of your trees on your map, you can gather at least 3 stacks of each wood, if not more. And you can gather even more wood and more iron by going to deserted islands. Using that wood, you can then craft a lot of the hot items to make a lot of money. So, for example, mine is wooden mirror table today. Sorry, wooden table mirror. It's 1 iron nugget and 3 wood. That's incredibly cheap. You can see that from me doing my farming route this morning, I have 111 wood and 94 nuggets. In fact, the 94 nuggets I've gained over a couple of days, but you get my point. It doesn't take that long to farm, and you can always use the Nook Mile tickets to get more. And with that last technique that I showed you about speeding up the crafting, you can now sit here quite happily, playing the game one-handed, and craft as many of these as you can. Now, I can tell you now that the wooden table mirror that I'm crafting here sells for 2,200 per one. So that's the same as one of the orchid mantises that I just mentioned, and they can sometimes take a few minutes to find. but instead, every 5 to 6 seconds, I'm getting, well, maybe around 7 or 8 seconds, I'm getting another one of these mirrors. Yes, it's costing me materials, but they're materials that I have abundance of because I spent 20-30 minutes doing my farming route this morning. And by doing this, I can make loads and loads of money. It's a really good quick cash grab. You should be paying attention to your item every single day and seeing whether you can do this if you have the materials. If it's something that's expensive to build, then obviously you're not going to spam it too much. And there we have it. There's 6 more tips for Animal Crossing that you may or may not have known, but hopefully will help you speed up what you're doing in the day and have more time for the good stuff, paying off your debt. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you're enjoying my content. I'll say the same thing that I did last time. I am still a Dead by Daylight player, so most of my videos will still be Dead by Daylight. I can't guarantee how many Animal Crossing videos I will do. If I come across more hints and tips, I will definitely do another video. If you would like some more Animal Crossing content, or if you have any ideas you'd like me to do, please put them down in the comments below. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Also, if you want to add me on Animal Crossing and want to join me at my island, I will be posting my friend code into the comments section of this YouTube video, and it's also in my stream. So if you want to come and play, add me or join the Discord community. Thank you, guys.